Mostly sunny right now, 82 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Whether you're in the office or heading to a job site or on the couch in your jammies because your boss thinks remote working is still cool, you can stay connected to what's going on with News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
I don't know. Things are starting off great, don't you think? Everything's going fine. From the jump, this has felt like it was going to be one of those days, don't you think? Like, it's just, some days you can feel it.
We had that conversation this morning.
We did, and what else can go wrong? Stay tuned. Back in the TV days, and welcome in. It's Jason, Dan's here, Laura, maybe, don't know. She's... The next,
I mean, she was, but
she was here.
We'll find out in another about 50 minutes.
Have you ever joked about that, though, when somebody gets called into the office and then it turns out that they actually did get laid off? It's not funny when it turns out to be true.
I've never had that happen before.
No.
We did have a former colleague who locked himself out and absolutely went into a panic attack, believing he had been fired when he wasn't.
Worst way you've been fired, 651-461-9226. Have you ever been fired? I've never been fired.
I've been fired once.
I quit a job once before I was fired, and I deserved to be fired from that job. It was a radio job. What job were you fired from?
From one of my ministry jobs. They downsized. And so my position was, quote unquote, eliminated. Yes.
I always get the feeling, being Catholic, like priests never got fired. You got, reassigned.
Yeah, they abused kids and they didn't get fired. So
right. Yeah, it's the Catholic way. Nobody got fired. It's sort of like the state of Minnesota when you work for the state. You just get reassigned to some other job.
Just writing checks. Doesn't really matter who they go to.
I got fired from a radio job. I was working in college. Well, I didn't get fired, but I quit because they should have fired me. I was a college student. I was the news director of the student TV station. And we did newscasts 4 nights a week. So it was, it wasn't like being the president of the Spanish International Club when I was in high school. But I had that job. I also had a job at an AM radio station where I had to get to work at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning to switch it over from the satellite to this live church service. And I overslept. And the reason I overslept is that I also had a job at a local TV station where I was working overnights. So I was working from 11 p.m. Friday night until 6 or 7 a.m. Saturday morning. So I was just wiped. All that stuff going on at the same time. And so when I was late, let me tell you, you would think that the church community would be forgiving of the measly 19-year-old AM radio board operator who overslept and didn't go live to the church service. I would say I got more of an Old Testament reaction.
I bet you did.
New Testament reaction. That church was not happy. And so I quit. I told the program director of the radio station called me up, and I was like, look, man, obviously I'm not equipped to do all of these jobs, and you should fire me, but I'm going to quit. And he was like, yep.
It's nice when everybody's on the same page,
Yeah, I mean, it sort of was. Texters, I've been fired twice and got 2 great settlements out of it. Don't mess with an HR person to fire them for no reason. Well, I do think that's the optimal, right? If you can get a settlement and lose your gig. Now, the settlement has to be good enough. But proving just how stupid bosses are, if you're firing an HR person and not doing it the right way, I mean, come on, man.
That's the wrong move. I'm not saying, and I want to be very clear about this. I do not want to be fired from this place.
Right. And
if it was done for non-causal reasons,
oh yeah, big check,
it would be a sizable check. It would cushion the blow, as it were. But again, I do not want to be fired.
Just to be clear. My father-in-law worked for General Mills forever. And one of the things that happens at big corporations is a certain point comes where you will get like a package where they invite you to go away. And my poor father-in-law just could never get that damn package. He is watching people, colleagues, friends, they got a package every year. Pete's like, maybe this year I'm going to get the package. Like, I have a feeling they want to get rid of me. I make too much money. Where's my package? The guy never got a package. I'm like, ugh.
That's terrible, especially if people around you get it. I know somebody very well who retired in his mid-50s because he got a go-away package.
Pretty good.
That's not bad.
I'm open for conversations if Odyssey is listening. Jeff is in the East Metro. Jeff, you've got a story of how a friend got fired, right?
Yeah, my friend Bill, great guy. He was a lawyer in a law firm, and they were moving to a new office. And one of the leaders of the law firm was showing the blueprints and the layout of where the offices were. And Bill said, "Where's my office?" And that's when the leader told him, "Well, we don't have an office for you because you're not going to have a job."
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. You're just looking at the layout. Where's my office? Well, oh man, did it work out for him?
Bill was a great guy. Bill was a great guy. He thought it was really funny. He went on to a new career as an engineer, so he landed on his feet. But it was one of the funnier stories about getting fired.
It's pretty good. I mean, my dad being emailed the list of people he's supposed to revoke computer access to and finding his own name on that list. I don't think he thought it was funny at the time, but I do think it's funny today. It's not great.
That one wins the Corporate Sensitivity of the Year award.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Now, our boss just came outside the studio looking at us.
Oh, we got to look. We've got to look.
Now, Laura was able to log back in.
Yes,
right?
so we can confirm she's not fired.
She's still working here. We just didn't know. That's how this started. And boy, would I feel bad if that really was how this turned out. Texters at 651-461-9226 walked in the back door of the restaurant one morning to open the kitchen, and some stranger was standing there with a clipboard. He told me to go clean out my locker and sign a form. It was April 1st. So I laughed and said, "Good one. John put you up to this." He was serious. We were all fired. Everybody went across the street to Bullwinkle's and got drunk. Yep. Oh. Jim Hughes, our traffic friend, got let go in Port Huron, Michigan. He asked if he was still entitled to his Thanksgiving turkey that he got. That's what you want. Jonathan is on the line, our friend Jonathan. Jonathan, I can't believe anyone would ever fire you, but what happened?
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Hello, and thanks for not firing me just yet, Jason. I truly appreciate the opportunity. And by the way, Dan, I will do whatever you say because you tell me when I need to call in.
So, Jonathan,
here we are.
To context that, Jonathan, watches us on YouTube all the time, and he shared what I thought was the crux of a good story. But I knew, Jason, you would have questions about this story, so I told him, "Hey, call in."
Very good.
And here we are.
Exactly. And if you're not subscribed yet on YouTube, please go ahead and do so because it makes them look important. And so if you're not there, then you can come and talk to me.
That's
right. So anyway, I've done my job here, right?
Very good. Very good. Clip that, and I'm sure we'll play that later.
That'll cost you $1.59. Okay. Now, with that being said, I had my first experience, and we all love Starbucks coffee, right?
Yeah.
Fresh in college, got offered a position at Starbucks. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's $7.50 an hour. I could do that. I make coffee at home. Anybody can do it. Oh, no. I'll never forget the woman's name, but I won't say her name because she's probably still working there. She was the rudest person on the planet as a manager. And if you're new and you don't know something, you should explain stuff to her. She was like, here you go figure it out. And I looked at her and I said, really? That's how you're going to train me? And until this day, I will not drink Starbucks coffee because of that miserable experience. So if you are a manager...
So wait a minute. She fired you that first day on the job?
Yes, because I told her, I said, you need to train me correctly. I don't know how to make drip coffee. I don't know what a freaking latte double triple espresso is. Right. And believe me, I drink enough coffee. I know what it is.
I'm trying to understand that a grande is a small. I mean, that's confusing too.
Exactly. And plus I'm dyslexic, so she was not very pleasant. And I looked at her and said, please fire me because this is not going to work out. And she just looked at me and says, you're fired. And I was like, okay, well, have a great day. Good luck finding anybody to work with you because you are already a piece of lovely work. And I try to give myself enough time. And by the way, just for people out there in Radio Land, I don't work for Jason. I don't work for Dan. I'm just a fan. Now, with that being said, I do have a new part-time job coming up this fall session.
Excellent.
So I just wanted to give you that heads up.
All right.
But if you know my voice, you can always come over and say hi to me. I love people. And by the way, will I show up at the fair? I don't know.
There goes Jonathan. 321, you're sharing your stories of being fired because we're all worried Laura Oakes was done. She couldn't log into the computer for the top of the hour news. Drive time back in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
There are moments in life that are oh no moments. We had one of those at the top of the hour, didn't we? A lot of times at home, if you're a homeowner, oh, you know those moments. We've all been there, right? Maybe your water heater just stopped working. Maybe your toilet's backed up, or maybe you've got some sort of electrical wiring challenge. You plug in that pizza oven. That's what my teenager was doing for lunch today, plugging in the pizza oven in the kitchen, and then you hear that pop or hear that buzz, and you say, oh, no. And I want the next thing you think to be call Randy's. It's Jason for my kind of here they come to the rescue team. Randy's Electric and Plumbing has been coming to the rescue for more than 20 years, helping Twin Cities homeowners deal with all sorts of stressful stuff, plumbing repairs, sewer and drain service, sump pump, water heater, water softener, and then all the electrical problems that people have in their home. Randy's is there for you. Licensed pros, they show up ready, they explain your options. They're clear, they're direct, you understand the pricing before they work. They send you texts so you know the technician's on the way. This is everything you want when you're sort of stressed out. When you have that oh no moment, do not panic. Call Randy's. The website is callrandys.com. Randy's Electric and Plumbing. Oh no becomes thank you, Randy's. Summer's not over yet, and Launchpad Golf, the Meadows, is where I'm finishing it strong. It's Jason DeRusha. Launchpad Golf in Prior Lake, right across from Mystic Lake Casino Hotel. It's more than a golf entertainment venue. Come for dinner. Try some of my favorites like the Truffle Bison Burger, Wild-Caught Salmon. Plus, how about this deal? The Summer Players Card. It's just $199. Golf in a suite any weekday with 5 guests. 2 visits. Your new weekday hangout pays for itself. Book tonight at launchpadgolf.com.
Lisa Damuth, a Republican who delivers results.
And I led the charge in rooting out billions in fraud and waste.
To stop the fraud, you need a governor who won't back down. Lisa Damuth gets the job done. Lisa Damuth understands to make Minnesota affordable again, we must fight fraud. Lisa Damuth knows to create good-paying jobs for Americans, we must stop payments to illegal aliens.
I led the way to end taxpayer funding of health care for illegal immigrants.
In the legislature, Republican Lisa Damoth fought the fraudsters. Now, Lisa Damoth's running for governor.
Let's start our Minnesota comeback right here and right now.
America's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by America's PAC and not authorized by any other candidate or committee. AmericasPAC527.com.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
She knows what I think about, and what I think about. Just ask, you find out. Nothing that we don't want to tell you about.
Well, kind of a goofy start to our show today. Why not? Why not? We're talking about getting fired. Nobody wants to get fired. I will say, I feel a little bit, Dan, like I missed out on a rite of passage, right? Like most media people have the, oh, well, I got called in, and this person said I would never make it in this business, and I just don't have.
TV and radio are very transient businesses. Usually the idea is you work someplace for a few years and then you get the next level job, whatever it is.
Right.
But then, eventually you reach a point.
You're going to get
where
fired.
usually these days it's financial, right? It's corporate.
It's the
cost cutting, and
yeah,
that's how you get.
Well,
got.
I think today Laura had it in the news.
Lord knows how much money you're making. So I mean, I'm not saying watch your back, but
well, you just heard the commercial break. But how much am I bringing in, Dan? I mean, that's the ultimate. You
don't got to argue with me. It's the ones upstairs.
Well,
you got to make the case to.
If they're paying me more than we're bringing in, they should fire me. That's pretty much the gig, right? Jacob on YouTube says, I've never been fired. I have one job that I knew they wanted to fire me, but I gave my 2-week notice first. It was a big fiasco, but the HR lady was on my side. Another texter, I was fired via text, and I ended up with a $1 an hour raise on my last paycheck. That's interesting. Did they feel guilty or something? I wonder why that happened. I was working remotely, says a texter. One afternoon, my network access just cut off. I called my boss multiple times, but she wouldn't answer. I called IT, and they said they couldn't reveal why my access was cut off.
That sort of reveals why your access got cut off.
The next morning, someone from HR finally called to say I was being let go.
Really?
That is wild, isn't it? I mean, I know,
it is, and yet, does it really surprise you in
I
this
know.
era of corporatization?
Is there a good way to be fired? Has anyone been fired in a way they're like, you know what? That was pretty good. I feel like most of the time, you're going to have a complaint about something. You got fired.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's rejection, right? So nobody enjoys feeling rejected. So even if it's hey, it's not you, this is a corporate downsizing, and here's a big fat severance check. I mean, there are softer ways to do it.
Sure.
But
still pretty bad.
Nobody enjoys it. I mean, it's never good.
I've also never had to fire someone. And I would think that would. So a friend of mine he runs a company, and sometimes you got to fire people. And it's interesting, like, he definitely feels the weight of it.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. We all want to work for a boss that, like, you don't want people to be like, got to do it.
Hey, guess what?
Right. You want to have somebody feeling the weight of it, and he does. And, you also have an obligation to the other people that work there that are continuing on. Yeah. And whether it's a layoff or downside, like, it is just part of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't care for is sort of the gaming of employment numbers that you see at giant companies. And one texter talked about working for Fingerhut when 2,000 plus people were fired in 2001 is a big deal. The majority of the staff members were there 25 to 30 years. Oof. And it was, that's tough, right?
Yeah.
And you see it in tech companies especially, where their stock price goes up and then they hire a ton of people. And then when the stock price dips just a little bit, boom, they blow out 20,000 people. And you're like, is that really about positioning your business to succeed, or is that just
it's about making your shareholders money?
Balance sheet.
Yeah, it's trying to make your shareholders money, make your shareholders happy.
Right.
That's what that's,
it's people.
Most of the time you see big corporations say we're cutting 5% or we're, whatever. That's 1,000% what it is. It's, corporate earnings time, and they're trying to cut overhead to boost the numbers, to boost the stock price, because they care more about shareholders than they do about your actual employees that make the business run.
Now, two different people who've had to fire someone have texted in.
Okay.
I fired a bad employee once, and they thanked me. I bet that happens
I'm sure,
more than you would think about, right? And how about this one? My brother and I were washing dishes at a restaurant. He missed a shift that he did not know about. When I came in for my shift, my boss told me to tell my brother he was fired. We were really young. If I were a 14 or a 15-year-old,
you'd be scared out of your mind and do whatever you need to do.
I guess I'd do what I was told.
For sure.
But, like, yowzers. That is crazy. Let's break in a minute. I want to talk about Minnesota's expectations when it comes to our sports teams. Because one of our owners set expectations at a level that, as a Minnesota sports fan, it makes me a little uncomfortable. And so I want to know what's wrong with us as fans. And is there anything wrong with us? Why do we accept mediocrity in our sports teams? We'll talk about that. 651-461-9226.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is the standard Minnesota radio listener certification exam. Please answer each question honestly.
Okay.
How often do you listen to News Talk 830 WCCO?
Most mornings, every afternoon, usually a bit in the evening.
Have you ever continued listening in a parked vehicle after reaching your destination?
Well, sometimes the conversation is so good.
So yes.
Technically.
We don't recognize technically. Complete this sentence. I heard something interesting this morning.
On CCO.
I see. Final question. Have you ever constructed a life-size replica of a WCCO host out of butter?
How did you know that?
Congratulations. You're officially certified.
There are listeners of News Talk 830 WCCO, and then there are fans. The question is, which one are you?
If you're planning to move to a senior living facility, you know firsthand that the wait lists are long, and when an opening pops up, you should take it right away. If you need to sell your house to make it happen, you're going to need to work quickly. My friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, will make sure that your home sells when you need it to. Steve and Cheryl knew when they got to the top of the list, they needed to be ready. They heard me talking about John on the radio and called the Good Neighbor agent to come up with a plan. It made it so they didn't have to feel rushed and so that the short notice of their move wouldn't leave them stuck paying for 2 homes. When they got the call saying that a spot in a senior living center was open, they knew they had to act. Luckily, they'd already come up with a plan with John. He fired up the marketing system. Interest came in right away. Took him 2 days to find a buyer. That's it for Steve and Cheryl. Their home sold for $5,000 over asking price. They planned ahead. You should too. Curious what your home is worth? Go to johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
This traffic report brought to you by LiUNA, Minnesota. Visit buildnorth.com. 65 northbound, smack dab on the exit ramp to 694. You have a crash blocking your drive there. Attention motorists, LiUNA, Minnesota wants you to slow down when driving in construction zones. You are now entering their work zone where they are building a better Minnesota for you. So please slow down when you see the orange cones, yellow vest, and save lives. Brought to you by LiUNA, Minnesota. Visit buildnorth.com. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy invites you to a free seminar for pre-planning your funeral and cremation services to help protect your family in the future. Enjoy food, visit with speakers from the Hillside Funeral Chapel and Cemetery, Tuesday, August 11th, 11:30 a.m. at Axel's, Roseville. Information at washburnmccreevy.com or 612-377-7841.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast time, brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Here is Chris Schaefer.
Partly cloudy tonight, only falling back to 66, so it is going to be warmer. It is going to get more humid. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. A cold front is going to trigger some scattered showers. Most will stay dry, but we could catch some sprinkles late morning into the early afternoon. 82 the afternoon high. It stays mild this weekend. Saturday and Sunday highs in the mid-80s both days. Partly cloudy, best chance of rain Sunday night into Monday.
Right now, it is beautiful, mostly sunny, and 83 on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
Weird. It was startling. It's a little scary.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I can feel something heavy on my heart. I can feel.
Well, we have some breaking news to tell you about at MSP Airport. There is a regional equipment outage from the FAA, and nothing's doing at the airport right now. On X, the airport says the outage is impacting flights. A ground stop is in effect for departures with some limited arrivals. And they say to contact your airline. So I went to the MSP Airport website right now, and it shows, every flight delayed. Every, these are every remaining flight for the rest of today. Every departure is delayed. If you look at the arrivals, the last arrival that I can see happened at 3 o'clock, a Delta flight from Detroit. But then you have delays like Baltimore delayed, Dulles, Bozeman, Orlando, Philly, Newark. All of those flights supposed to arrive in the 3 o'clock hour. They have all been delayed. And on X, there's a post from someone who was on a flight out of Denver who said they were turned around mid-flight, and now they're headed back to Denver, which you can understand. If the radar isn't working, it's not a great time to try to fly to MSP, right? I assume that was the United flight that was supposed to arrive at 4:46 our time. So be aware of that if you're expecting someone to arrive at the Minneapolis airport. It's not going to happen. So I imagine we'll hear the latest in our traffic update, but you know how that goes, right? People going to the airport to pick people up. And you're welcome to call in 651-461-9226 if you are at the airport waiting for a flight, or if you're out in sort of that mess of car humanity that you see kind of queuing up around the airport. But all we know is that it's an equipment outage from the FAA. Number of reports on Bring Me the News and WCCO and KSTP saying that a Delta pilot said the issue is because of the radar being out at this part of the country. So that is a post from an ex-user, Brad, who said he was sitting on, and there's a lot of posts about this, sitting on the tarmac at MSP Airport saying the airport radar is out in this part of the country. So they're saying it's going to be at least another hour. There's an FAA alert system that sort of gives this information as to how long this is going to last. And you never know, right? They're just telling you this is what we know so far. But the latest post that I saw was 4:15, that it was going to last at least until 4:15. So another person, a couple people saying they were on a flight due to land at MSP that is now flying back to Denver. Another texter saying, I'm at Terminal 2 at MSP. Rumors are flying. All planes that were on the tarmac were deplaned. Hard to find a place to sit in here. So you can see, Terminal 2 is where Sun Country flies out of. And there are only, I don't know how many gates there are at Terminal 2, not that many. And so for sure, if you're unloading all of the flights that were going to leave from Minneapolis, hard to find a place to sit in there. Another texter in Chicago at O'Hare trying to head to MSP. Our flight was in the air, circled over Iowa, and then returned to O'Hare. The pilot said they were not able to establish communication with MSP. So obviously that is, this is essentially how the system is supposed to work, right? The pilots understanding we got a situation, this isn't going to work, we're going to turn around and go back where we came from. If you're on that flight, I bet it's a little unnerving, right?
More than a little, I would say.
But this is how it's supposed to work.
Because isn't it reasonable, and I want to be very, very clear that there's no information to this effect at this time.
Right.
We just had our water system attacked by a foreign entity.
Yeah.
Is it reasonable to wonder, is there some other thing going on here right now?
I think,
again, that's just purely me asking the question. There's no information to that effect.
That's where my head went.
I mean,
absolutely. And we know the FAA and the air traffic control system in this country is woefully outdated. The technology is not where you would want it to be, considering how critical this is to safety. But susceptible to an attack, you would think so. Again, we have no information that is the cause, so it certainly could just be a standard outage or who knows. Texter says, Jonathan on YouTube says, remind me not to fly anytime soon. You can see why it gets people nervous, right? A texter says, I work for the state of Minnesota. I left early because all of our computer systems have been down for about the last hour. And I learned it's all departments, not just my department. That's a texter. That's not
But I had a caller that wouldn't go on, wouldn't give me their name, but said essentially the same thing. Now, again, that's something we have not verified, and we don't know for sure that that's the case. But that certainly lends a little bit more concern to, what exactly is going on right now.
Kurt Dowd, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, responding to me saying, I'm in Philly. I boarded and then deplaned. We were supposed to reboard 5 minutes ago, but no boarding so far. So, as you know, this has a massive ripple effect. And just looking at the arrivals at the Twin Cities, and I'm looking at the MSP Airport website, and the only information they've shared is the fact that there is a ground stop. It's regional FAA saying that no flights can take off and some limited arrivals. But looking at the arrival flights, the Baltimore flight that was supposed to land at 3 is delayed. It looks like a Toronto flight. Some flights are arriving. So a Chicago flight arrived at 3:35. Rapid City landed. Milwaukee landed at 3:25. So some are landing. And some of these, it just says on time, but that is probably an estimate at this time, right? Because we don't quite know what the situation is. Our newsroom is on the case. Your texts are welcome. A texter saying, I'm at the airport. It's pure pandemonium in here. That passengers are frustrated. I need to get home to my wife. Yeah, I get it. Another texter, it's really scary if, someone's going to infiltrate our technology in this way. And we don't know. We don't know that that's what it is. Another state employee saying the DNR website crashed today as well. I hate the fact that the President of the United States politicized the attack against Minnesota's water system, because this isn't political. This is about, and we don't know in this case what it's about, but in general, outside interests trying to attack, whether it's our water supply, whether it's our state computers. This could just be an FAA outage. This could be, we don't know. But this should be a unifying factor for all of us to understand that we need to take technology more seriously. We need to treat it like the critical infrastructure it is. We need to fund it and fund the security in the way that we know it needs to be funded. And this is not a Republican or a Democratic issue. This is an American issue. This is a Minnesotan issue. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who feels differently on that. So let us know if you're at the airport or if you're dealing with this. Let us know. Texter says, son in Nashville, they are delayed, but they were told they're boarding in 15 minutes. So the initial report from the FAA was that it was a ground stop until 4:15. So another 25 minutes with that, but we'll see what happens. Our newsroom's on it. Keep the text and information coming. this outage affecting the Minneapolis Air Traffic Control Center, which is affecting the region for sure. Drive Time back in just a minute. Covering breaking news here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Let's talk about insurance, right? There are times in life where the unthinkable happens. And when that happens, you want to know that you have the best team of the business on your side, that you have the best company, and you're getting the best coverage at the best price. For me, it's the Canopy Group. That's who I go with. thecanopygroup.com. I reached out initially because I had this sneaking suspicion that my insurance was just too expensive. I had, like most of you do, one insurance agent, one company. I was using the same guy my in-laws use. Nice guy. But every year I had to call and say, like, hey, can you get me a better deal? Is this the best deal you can get? When I heard about the Canopy Group here on CCO Radio, I just called 800-967-3389. Kyle answered the phone, said, like, hey, tell me what you're paying right now, what's your coverage, and he got to work because the Canopy Group has 16 companies to choose from. So they can piece together insurance for your home, for your auto. They can cover your business, too. But they piece it together in a way that makes sense for you. They work for you, not for an insurance company. It's pretty cool. Saved me $820 first year on my home and auto insurance. See what they can do for you. 800-967-3389 or thecanopygroup.com.
We're talking construction law today with Blake Nelson, an attorney from Hellmuth & Johnson. Blake, why is having the right legal support so important?
One delay, one payment issue, or one contract mistake can put an entire project at risk and be the difference between making and losing money. In Minnesota, contract terms, timing, and documentation matter.
How does Hellmuth & Johnson help?
We help contractors, subcontractors, and property owners protect their rights, get paid, and keep projects moving.
Learn more at hjlawfirm.com. Hellmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side, for all your construction law needs.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
The warm days of summer have arrived. You're going to want to have an AC in your house. Call Metro Heating and Cooling. We'll be happy to help you choose the AC system that's right for your home and wallet. Get a free estimate at metroheating.com. Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
metroheating.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear. It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
As you get ready to make your drive, we're still watching that crash area, 65 northbound, the exit ramp to 694. Watch out for the crash there. Big problem out at MSP Airport right now. Heavy delays at the airport. It looks like it might be a computer problem. A lot of the flights are being diverted. If you knew somebody was coming in, you might want to check the board before you head out to the airport. Again, expect some delays as you get there. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The time to enjoy your outdoor space is now. At By the Yard, you'll find beautiful maintenance-free outdoor furniture built for the way you live. Visit a By the Yard showroom and see why life is better outdoors.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by the Yard. Right now, it is beautiful. This is summer, right? Partly cloudy, low at 66 tonight. Tomorrow, isolated showers possible. 82 is the high. Saturday, a little more humid. 85. That's right in the wheelhouse, though, right? Mid-80s on Sunday, too. Right now, it's 83 on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Can you blow my mind? Set up my whole
So we got a couple of breaking stories going on. We have been getting reports of a number of communities in the area that have had internet outages. Minnesota's 511 network, Lakeville, Dakota County 911, City of White Bear Lake. A texter says, I went to vote at Egan City Hall about an hour or so ago, and they said the voting systems were down, so that may be part of Dakota County. There have been other reports of, like, home internet outages. So you have internet issues going on, but you also have this sort of regional airport radar issue. And the airport is open, and we are getting texts that have come in that they are reboarding. A texter saying an announcement just went out that they're reboarding one flight. Another texter saying they are starting boarding again. Going home to my wife now, says a texter, which is excellent, excellent news if things are getting cooking once again. And looking at the departure, I mean, things are going to be stacked up. Like, that's the problem with this, right? So any of the departures that were delayed, because it's 3:55, looking at the board right now, yeah, it does look like they're boarding Cincinnati. They're boarding Portland, which were both supposed to be gone. So everything in the 5 o'clock hour is going to be delayed. So you heard Jim Hughes saying traffic is backing up out there. You certainly want to check before you get to the airport. And our newsroom's working on reaching out to the airport and getting all the information they can get as well. So kind of a mess out there for sure. It is a reminder of, like, how delicate our technological infrastructure can be. We all know that sort of feeling when you can't access internet service and you sort of all of a sudden you got to shut it all down. Power out. Henry Lake texted in that his workout in Champlin was cut short 45 minutes ago with power out in the facility.
I mean, it's all fun and games until Henry's workout gets disrupted. Then we're in big trouble.
It was outrageous. That's gonna be my excuse too as to why I didn't work out today. There was a power outage. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. All right, local news will have the update for you at the top of the hour. Continental Diamond time check. It's 3:57 right now. If you have internet service, I recommend going to continentaldiamond.com. Construction maybe makes it a little challenging to get over to their St. Louis Park location, but I like to browse their pre-owned watch selection. And there's a beautiful, very modern glass hoot available on their website. Beautiful. So make your wish list at continentaldiamond.com. Next hour, maybe we'll do some of the stuff we planned for this show. We started off talking about what happened, like the worst way you got fired, all because Laura Oakes couldn't log into her computer. Check that out wherever you get podcasts. Love it if you subscribe to Drive Time with DeRusha. Laura coming up.
Michelle Tafoya is a California liberal pretending to be a Republican. But Tafoya is a never-Trumper who supports anti-Second Amendment red flag laws and amnesty for illegal immigrants. That's why voters have rejected Tafoya. Adam Schwarzy is a United States Marine and Navy SEAL. He dedicated his career to protecting America. Now Schwarzy is fighting a new enemy at home: fraud and corruption, unchecked immigration, and an economy that's crushing families. Schwarzy will secure our border, deport criminal illegals, and make life more affordable. That's why Adam Schwarzy is the only U.S. Senate candidate endorsed by the Minnesota Republican Party. Michelle Tafoya won't fight for you. She's given up. Schwarzy has been fighting his whole life, and he's not done. Adam Schwarzy for U.S. Senate. Paid for by Sheepdog PAC and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Sheepdog PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps. This is News Talk 830 WCCO, 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. After the Supreme Court rejected President Trump's effort to end birthright citizenship, his administration's taking a new approach to try to limit the scope of the Constitution's 14th Amendment, which grants citizenship to anyone born in the United States. The president signed several executive orders today, and Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller explained the purpose of one.
To expand the definitions of people who are ineligible for birthright citizenship. That includes, for example, alien enemies of the United States, members of foreign terrorist organizations, and large categories of people who lobby and act on behalf of foreign governments.
The president also said the U.S. has enough defensive missiles, refuting a report that the stockpiles dwindled amid the war in Iran. He put the blame for any issues on his predecessor.
Look, we gave tremendous amount to Ukraine, the Biden people did, and they were given free of charge, no charge, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune said the reports were concerning.
Well, the reports are concerning, and obviously that's why we need to do more to make sure that our military has the funding it needs.
The former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's out of a rehab facility, but ABC's Jay O'Brien on Capitol Hill says there are plenty of outstanding questions about the 84-year-old's health.
He's now recovering at home in Kentucky. He says he'll continue to check in on Senate business. It all comes after, remember, that fall on June 14th. So now a month plus ago, over a month and a half ago, I should say, in which McConnell's office said he was knocked briefly unconscious and was rushed to the emergency room.
Investigators in Washington state say the man in custody and charged with starting last week's devastating fires in Spokane admitted to starting at least 25 fires between July 4th and August 11th. You're listening to ABC News.
This is breaking news on News Talk 830 WCCO.
402 on CCO, I'm Laura Oakes. Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport is under a ground stop due to a regional FAA equipment outage. WCCO Susie Jones is here with the very latest. Susie?
Laura, we just got off the phone with Kyle Potter with Thrifty Traveler, who is actually stuck himself in Seattle because of this ground stop, trying to get back home. He says they've been told it could be resolved perhaps by 4:15, but that depends on how quickly they can get the system up and running. As far as its impact,
it's certainly a significant disruption. That said, we see massive ground stops basically every single week up and down the East Coast. So it's a little too early to say that this is going to be a big one, though certainly for people flying in and out of Minneapolis especially, it will be very disruptive.
and the airport, Laura, asking people to check ahead, check your airlines for the latest flight information. We'll continue to follow the story. Live in the newsroom, Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Thank you, Susie. Also, the FAA's website said earlier that the outage may last until about 4:15, but there was a 30 to 60% probability it would be longer than that. We just checked that website again for the latest, and the website was down. So we'll continue to follow this as best we can. And as Jason mentioned earlier, we've been hearing of other cases of internet outages in the Twin Cities this afternoon. We have also contacted Minnesota IT services to check on a report that state computer systems may also be impacted. We'll continue to follow the story, bringing the latest in our news at 5:02. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry is expected to give his budget address next week, a budget that could include staff layoffs and property tax increases to offset a more than $30 million budget gap. That gap is partly the result of overtime pay in the police department, which is seriously understaffed. Councilmember Michael Rainville.
And I'll give you the best example. When you see a squad car patrolling the street or maybe responding to an emergency call, on any given day, half of the officers in those squad cars are working on overtime.
He says until the department is fully staffed, this is how it's going to be. So the council and the mayor have to find a way to cut.
We just can't keep raising taxes. It's hurting every low income, every fixed income person in the city of Minneapolis. We have to get a handle on it.
Another issue putting pressure on the city is the diminishing tax base, which city leaders say is down by about $3 billion. USA Basketball announcing the roster for the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup in Berlin today. One familiar face made it, while another was left off.
Getting the nod was Lynx All-Star forward Nafisa Collier, which isn't a surprise, or is it? The voice of the Lynx, Sloan Martin.
Nafisa Collier is one of the best players in the entire world, so it's not surprising, even as she's just now starting to come back to her old self from those off-season ankle injuries. But I think the entire Team USA ecosystem knows what you get with Nafisa Collier.
Rookie point guard Olivia Miles, who is making a strong case to be league MVP, was not selected.
You remember in 2024 where there was a big uproar with Caitlin Clark not making the team right off the bat, and people said the same thing at the same time. Her time is going to come.
Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 4:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
This traffic report brought to you by Verizon Business. 169 southbound. We have a crash in your drive there. 6-minute delay right now on that northbound side between Bass Lake Road and 49th Avenue. Another problem at MSP, the airport flight delays expected, affecting inbound and outbound flights. It looks like they might have a computer problem there. You might want to check before you go out to MSP Airport. Verizon Business experts love small business, so they come directly to you on your schedule. Real experts and members of your community learning firsthand about your unique business needs with expertise tailored to you. Make an appointment with Verizon Business Expert. Go to verizon.com/book today. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Metro Heating and Cooling for a $109 air conditioner tune-up. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Metro Heating and Cooling. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It will be a little tougher to sleep with the windows open tonight. Only cooling back to 66. It's going to start to get a bit humid as well. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. There's a cold front passing that will trigger some showers anytime late morning into the early afternoon. The better chance of rain late in the afternoon east of the Twin Cities. It will be a bit muggy with a high of 82. Highs this weekend in the mid-80s.
Partly cloudy right now, 80 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You can hear about the story anywhere, but there's only one place where you get to talk about it. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Well, good news coming from the text line at 651-461-9226. Clayton from Indiana says, we are barreling down the runway at MSP and all things are good in the world again. Another texter says this outage, this internet outage, is a reminder of the importance of AM radio. Yeah, when streaming goes down and power outages affect you, AM radio is still cranking in the car, right? We're getting it done. So good news, we do know, and looking at the website for the airport, that a Pittsburgh flight departed that was scheduled to leave at 3:36, so that's good news. So certainly some of this starting to get cranking again, but the reality is if you've had an hour worth of flights that were unable to take off, it's going to be a long night at the airport, right? Because that all gets backed up, and it's going to be challenging. You're welcome to keep texting in. It's 651-461-9226. Another texter at Glacier International Airport, which is in Montana, that they were just cleared to start boarding. Now, if you're at Glacier Park International Airport, like what are you doing? Right? Like what's that trip? Cuz that is like you're up there. Is that the closest airport to like Yellowstone maybe? I don't know. No, that's pretty far from there. Sort of the middle of nowhere, right? You're not too far from Spokane, I guess. That's probably the closest airport to Spokane. Texter saying power that was out at the 511 building. A lot of restored systems back online. Most of the Midwest internet traffic goes through the AT&T 511 building, 511 building. So who knows? A lot of, I think a lot of us don't fully understand, and by a lot of us, I mean me, like exactly how the internet works, right? Like, I mean, I hate to be Al Gore here, and it's like a series of tubes. You see, it's like you've got your tubes, you got the internet, and you've got your this going here. I don't know. But there's a whole lot of infrastructure to the way we log on to the internet and get information and run our businesses and everything that most of us have no idea how the hell it operates. One thing we all know is that we sure don't want a data center in our town. That's for dang sure. But the internet goes down for 2 hours, and you can't vote. You can't do this. You can't do that. But no, we don't want any of those data centers. That's for sure. All right, drive time. In effect, we're going to move on. But definitely, as we learn more about what happened, why it happened, was this a simple equipment failure? Was this a cyber attack of some sort like we saw against our municipal water supply computer systems? We don't know. As of this point, we just don't know. The only thing we know for sure is that you're going to have a lot of backups. So if you're waiting for someone to come home or you're trying to get out of here, just know that there are going to be delays. And don't take it out on anybody who works at the airport, okay? Be extra nice to the gate agents and to the flight attendants and to all of that. Dan, I want to ask a little bit about Minnesota sports fandom. Because it's a miserable existence, right? It's a miserable existence. And we have satisfied ourselves as sports fans with being competitive. And depending on what team you support, we all have sort of a different standard for that team. And there's been this undercurrent whenever a team poops the bed, flops, fails, fans are like, well, we had a good time. It was fun. We'll see you next year. And I confess, I generally live in that camp, right? Because for me, sports, it's supposed to be fun. I want to have fun. Would I prefer to win? Yes. Do I live it, breathe it, die it? No, I don't. And so hearing the owners of the Minnesota Vikings talk about expectations with the media. This happened, I think, yesterday. It made me wonder if I'm being too soft. That the expectations that I have for our government, for example, it's way higher than I have for the sports teams. The expectations I have for myself, for my job, for my coworkers, for my company, high. For my kids. Why do we give our sports teams a pass? That's the question. 651-461-9226. Here is the comment that got me thinking about this.
We know what success looks like, and success to us, obviously our ultimate goal is winning Super Bowls and championships, but I'll follow the coach's cue, and we're going about it day at a time. We're going to be highly competitive. Our goal is, of course, to win the division, compete in the playoffs, and win Super Bowls, and that's always the gauge we have to go by every single year.
Is that the gauge you use? Because I am empathetic to the whole, only one team wins. Only one team wins. Only one team ends the season with a win. And if your expectation as a fan is winning a championship, well, we know how that goes in Minnesota. If you're a Vikings fan, it's 0-4 in Super Bowls, and it's been a hell of a long time since we've even been in the game. If it's the Minnesota Twins, this town nearly lost its mind when the Twins won one playoff series.
A 3-game series at that.
It wasn't even the play-in round, essentially. It's a wild card series.
I mean,
right?
MLB won't say that, but
that's what it
is.
You
could argue
right?
it. Yeah, you could argue it.
Our expectations are low. They are. And does low fan expectations give these owners a pass where they know the fans here aren't going to freak out, aren't going to hold their feet to the fire, with one exception, and that exception has been the last 2 years of Minnesota Twins fans.
Yep.
We're Twins fans, and I would argue, Dan, I don't even think Twins fans are upset with the results. They're not upset that the team hasn't performed. They're upset that the team doesn't spend enough money to pretend like they want to perform.
I mean, they're not happy about the performance.
They're not, but that's not the main issue.
They're more upset at the perception that ownership isn't invested in trying to win. And I think honestly, that's a fair bar for fans to say. If the ownership, if they feel like the ownership is invested in trying to win, that they're doing the things necessary to try to win, most fans, at least in Minnesota, are going to say, the results are the results. As you said, only one team gets to win their last game every year. So as long as I know, or I feel like the owners are trying, what else can you ask for?
I'm wondering if people who have the attitude that I have, where if you had fun, if they were competitive, if we are the problem, am I the problem? Because what I am saying as a fan is get me the playoffs. That's good enough. Or is it it doesn't really, do the fans really matter? The owners are going to do what the owners want to do. This is what I can't decide. Does the fan, and I don't want to say apathy. I don't think our fans are apathetic. But I think our fans have the attitude of get us to the playoffs and that's good enough.
Minnesota fans are very polite. We don't want to make anybody mad at us. Yeah. So if you as long as you're trying, as long as we can see the playoffs from wherever we're at, then okay.
You're trying.
Then we're still going to buy tickets, because that's the ultimate thing here, right? Is if you're not buying tickets to go see the games, that's when the owners panic. Because at the end of the day, the owners are trying to make money. The owners are trying to balloon the value of their franchise so that they can sell it at some point and make just oodles and oodles and oodles of money. Yeah. That's what they really care about. They'll say that they care about championships and they care about all that stuff. That stuff's nice, and it will make them a little bit more money. But what really makes them money is selling out every game and, upping the franchise value. So that's their main concern. But if fans stop coming.
And you need some cash flow, right? Like,
Sure.
Obviously the value of these teams goes up and up and up, but you do want to have some cash coming in.
Sure. But ultimately, the way that franchise owners make money isn't, year to year or month to month cash flow coming in.
It's like your house.
It's the valuation of the franchise going up. And as long as that keeps going up, they're going to be just fine.
Texters say, we give them a pass because it doesn't really matter. Your family, work, etc. matters, says John in Brooklyn Park. I think that's true. But other fan bases, I think, expect more. And freak out more when the team only, like, you would not judge success just getting the playoffs.
That's true. Other fan bases do freak out more.
Right.
The question is that a good thing or not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm not sure, simply freaking out as a fan base, does that really accomplish anything other than just you get to freak out a little bit?
I mean, our way doesn't seem to be getting very many good results.
But that also assumes that any fan
has any
way
power.
has any influence at all, and I'm not sure how much that's actually true or not.
I do think if you actually withheld your money, you withheld your viewership, you see what happened with the Twins. I mean, the Twins, I believe that the current ownership, and yes, it's the same family, but acting that like these brothers are the same person, I think is preposterous. But the Twins changed course. And will they pay that off? We don't know.
Or will that actually lead to success in the
don't know.
postseason and a championship? You have no
but
idea.
You did get a change.
You got a response, for sure.
And I do think the fan base drove some of that. The anger, lack of showing up, I think that's part of it.
I think that's absolutely part of it. One quick note, speaking of Ye Olde Ball Club, by the way, just getting this in, Joe Ryan was sent back to the Twin Cities from Kansas City to get some imaging done, and now they're going to go ahead and place him on the 10-day IL. So we haven't gotten specifics on what the imaging showed or exactly what was going on, but it was clear coming out of the All-Star break something wasn't right with him. And now it appears that they're going to shut him down for a little bit and see what happens. So that's just coming through. Joe Ryan to the IL for the Twins, corresponding move to come. Presumably we'll have more information on that coming up tonight. Twins are still in Kansas City to finish off that series. Pregame at 6 o'clock. First pitch at 6:40 on your home of the Twins, 830 WCCO.
Texter says, Jason, the alternative to being content with making the playoffs would be for me to be crestfallen if I cannot date Scarlett Johansson, which would be much like a World Series win.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not making the playoffs. That's winning a championship.
Yeah. I do wonder which fan base has the highest standard or the highest expectation. Is it Vikings fans? I don't think you expect that much with the Vikings this year, do you? With the fact that you've got two sort of quarterback options? Our quarterback controversy is not between two superstars. It's between which one of these guys are we going to say, like, well, I guess that'll do? I think the Timberwolves fans have the highest expectations right now. What do you say? 651-461-9226. Drive time.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
Lisa Damuth, a Republican who delivers results.
And I led the charge in rooting out billions in fraud and waste.
To stop the fraud, you need a governor who won't back down. Lisa Damuth gets the job done. Lisa Damuth understands to make Minnesota affordable again, we must fight fraud. Lisa Damuth knows to create good-paying jobs for Americans, we must stop payments to illegal aliens.
I led the way to end taxpayer funding of health care for illegal immigrants.
In the legislature, Republican Lisa Damuth fought the fraudsters. Now, Lisa Damuth's running for governor.
Let's start our Minnesota comeback right here and right now.
America's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by America's PAC and not authorized by any other candidate or committee. AmericasPAC527.com.
I'm here with Alec Sherritt, a top mergers and acquisitions attorney with Helmuth & Johnson. Alec, Minnesota laws can be complex. How do you make sure you're on the right path?
At Helmuth & Johnson, we help businesses and individuals navigate Minnesota's laws with clarity and confidence. We understand how Minnesota's laws and courts work, and we guide you every step of the way.
So it's not just knowing the law, it's knowing Minnesota.
Exactly. Practical advice, local experience, real solutions.
If you're looking to buy or sell a business, go to hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson. On your side, at your side.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Michelle Tafoya is a California liberal pretending to be a Republican. But Tafoya is a never-Trumper who supports anti-Second Amendment red flag laws and amnesty for illegal immigrants. That's why voters have rejected Tafoya. Adam Schwarzy is a United States Marine and Navy SEAL. He dedicated his career to protecting America. Now Schwarzy is fighting a new enemy at home: fraud and corruption, unchecked immigration, and an economy that's crushing families. Schwarzy will secure our border, deport criminal illegals, and make life more affordable. That's why Adam Schwarzy is the only U.S. Senate candidate endorsed by the Minnesota Republican Party. Michelle Tafoya won't fight for you. She's given up. Schwarzy has been fighting his whole life, and he's not done. Adam Schwarzy for U.S. Senate. Paid for by Sheepdog PAC and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Sheepdog PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Fundamentally, a non-traditional approach to talking about, learning about, and exploring the day's news.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm picking out this dress, trying on these shoes, 'cause I'll be single soon. I'll be single soon.
All right, just want to update you on the breaking news. The ground stop that was at MSP and some other airports in the upper Midwest after an FAA equipment failure or outage or issue. Some airlines, according to MSP, have started resuming operations. So we are having departures. We are having arrivals. I tried to check at the FAA website that gives you the National Airspace System status to see if the ground stop has been lifted. Website unavailable. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Not ideal. Not ideal. But the evidence is clear that some airlines are taking off. Flights are taking off. Flights are arriving. So good news. We'll have the latest at the top of the hour from Laura Oakes of the news team.
The other bit of breaking news, obviously, Twins starter Joe Ryan going on the IL. It would appear MRI results, we just found this out, show that he has a mild left glute strain. Would you rather strain your left glute or your right glute, Jason? Which one of those would you?
I favor the left.
Okay.
So
that means maybe you're more likely to strain that one?
According to the internet, a mild left glute strain is a minor stretch or tear in the buttock muscles that typically heals with 2 to 6 weeks with rest, ice, and gentle movement. Now, that's probably for regular people.
Right. For professional athletes that get treatment, it's probably more on the 2-week end of the spectrum.
So this is a pulled gluteus maximus. And I get in the pitching motion, does that happen, or is that extracurricular gluteus activity?
You'll hear pitching analysts talk all the time about guys using their lower half, and that's its legs, its glutes, its hamstrings, its quads, it's all of that.
I don't like that at all.
Well, I mean, I don't like the fact that Joe's on the IL.
Where are you on gluteus maximus?
I think mine are gluteus minimus, but
yeah, same issue.
Yeah,
no butt. I have no butt. That's something I could probably work on, right? Squats.
You're already making excuses to not work out today.
Well, the power outage sort of, really affected. Henry and I like to work out together.
Yeah.
Start the day with a protein
Similar
shake.
physiques, you and Henry.
we like a creatine shake to get the day started.
If you ever want to feel good about your physique, don't go anywhere near Daryl Thompson, who's a 10 of a human being, by the way.
Yeah.
But I mean, you talk about a guy who's built like, the colloquial brick bleep house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we ended up having a butt conversation.
I mean, thanks a lot, Joe Ryan.
This does sort of get me going when you talk about sports injuries and the subterfuge.
Gluteal injury gets you going?
I mean, we could open this up to calls what's your favorite?
Probably not a great idea.
Muscular area? I don't know. Are you more of a butt guy or more of a leg guy? Or I don't know. It's up to ladies.
Well, we know how pesky those leg injuries can be, especially hip injuries, as Byron Buxton's still not back from the aisle yet.
Yeah.
The hamstring injuries, which seem to take forever to heal.
These guys
don't get me started on bilateral leg weakness.
Yeah. I feel like you should be able to pitch without your left glute, but we've seen the evidence.
I was going to say, look at the last 3 starts. Apparently,
it's
that's not happening for Joe.
Not been good. Texter says nothing better than a little gentle morning gluteus maximus movement. You get, though, do you think that Joe's treatment is just one of those, those machine, the little, it's like the massage guns? You see the athletes with these,
I'm sure they're using that.
Yeah. Another texter asking if we could talk about something other than DeRusha's butt. You know what? It's my show.
It is your show.
So for the next half hour,
we're going to talk about anybody's butt.
Yeah, I mean, legally, I'm no longer allowed to make comments about other people's butts, I think. Thanks, woke America, for ruining that. You used to be able to talk about people's butts freely. I don't think that's
No, I don't
true.
really think that was.
No. I like a nice butt, though. I'm not going to lie. You other brothers can't deny.
Make sure you give that room so Brad can edit that up.
Hit the thing.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO. Join the discussion.
I think it's important that our voices are heard.
That's going too far. If you can dish it out, you've got to be able to take it.
Have a different take? Call in.
I think you need to look at everything from both sides of the table.
Go for it, not with my tax dollars.
I have so many feelings about this.
And government can't fix that for you. Hello.
Got something to say? Say it here.
That's the viewpoint from a lot of us out in rural Minnesota.
News, views, and you. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Want to try something new on your exterior? All Around has the tools, and we're good with our hands. Those clean lines, that craftsmanship. We do residential, commercial. We even offer financing. We're not cheap, but we're worth every penny. Let's lay down some siding and shingles. We're ready to go. Are you?
All Around. We get it done and we do it right.
Curtis James of Bear Market Financial Services.
We have to understand that the things that got us here might not be the things that get us forward. And now it's not just what our money's invested in, but why. And I think this is a pretty big mistake that a lot of people make is they stay in that kind of growth mindset that they've been in for the last 20, 30 years. They just never stop to kind of reposition and refocus that thought process.
Retirement Simplified with Curtis James, Sunday evenings at 6 on WCCO.
When it came to protecting the WCCO radio building, we wanted to find a team we could trust. We tried other companies before, but the issue kept coming back. Then we called Valor Pest Solutions. Shane and his team came out, did a thorough inspection, and put together a plan that kept us covered ever since. No shortcuts, no guesswork, just real expertise and results you can count on. That's why WCCO stands behind Valor Pest Solutions. Because when other companies came up short, they got it right.
Chatty, you're talking once again about Pella. Pella Windows and Doors, PellaNorthland.com. 2 homes for me. The last 20 years. Moved recently out of the last one. Both with Pella Windows and Doors. What a superior company. Showrooms, Brooklyn Park, Woodbury, Plymouth. Check it out. A great offer in August. 0% APR for 72 months or 20% off your Pella project. I trust them 100%. PellaNorthland.com.
96%. That's how many of Minnesota's 24,000 corn farms are family-owned and operated. They aren't big, faceless corporations, but moms and dads, brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Together they innovate, implement new technologies, and steward our natural resources, all to ensure that we have a safe, healthy food and fuel supply and provide for future generations. 96%. That's Minnesota family corn farming. That's your Minnesota corn farmer. Learn more at mncorn.org.
We all have different skills, things that make us unique. And in the Minnesota Army National Guard, we combine all of that for a common mission, serving our home. I am Sergeant First Class Daphne Awasonia from Robbinsdale. We know strength isn't found alone. It comes when all of us fight for the same goal. When that goal is protecting what matters most, there is nothing stronger. What will you bring to help us build that strength? Go to nationalguard.com/Minnesota to see how you can get started today.
Paid for by the Minnesota Army National Guard. Brought to you by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
As you get ready to make your afternoon drive, still watching a crash near 169, the southbound side of the roadway between Bass Lake Road and 49th Avenue North. FAA Air Traffic Center control equipment problems causing a problem at MSP right now. If you're expecting somebody inbound or an outbound flight, you might want to check the board before you go to the airport. Again, they're expecting delays until that can be rectified. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast from our friends at B&M Tree Service. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Partly cloudy tonight, only falling back to 66, so it is going to be warmer. It is going to get more humid. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. A cold front is going to trigger some scattered showers. Most will stay dry, but we could catch some sprinkles late morning into the early afternoon. 82 the afternoon high. It stays mild this weekend. Saturday and Sunday highs in the mid-80s both days. Partly cloudy, best chance of rain Sunday night into Monday.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, it is sunny out there, and it is lovely. 84 degrees on CCO.
Your daily detour into sharper conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, we're still watching the breaking news, the ripple effects from the ground stop at the airport. That stop was officially, the last information we got was around 4:20 that the airport posted on X, 4:15 p.m., that airlines started to resume some operation. We've received some texts. One of the nice things about the fact that a lot of the airlines have Wi-Fi in there now. So we received a number of texts from people saying that the flights were taking off, and we've seen the report from the airport that they're back open in limited capacity. It's going to take a while to get things settled after almost 2 hours of flights not coming in or going out, and that's a ripple effect all over the country. So we'll keep watching it. We don't know the cause of the FAA raider. I like to call it raider, but some of you call it radar outage. At the same time, there have been widespread power outages and internet outages for government websites and throughout the Twin Cities for a number of different locations. So we've been getting lots of reports of government websites not working, DNR website. So do we know, are these things separate? Certainly possible. Are they related? Certainly possible. We just don't know at this point. The main effect has been government offices closing early. Henry Lake said a power outage caused his gym to close. And many of you have texted in with power and internet issues in your community. I was in Maple Grove all morning, no issues there. Dan was in St. Louis Park until noon, no issues there. But depending on where you're at, we know there have been reports in Dakota County of some issues, Egan, state websites as well. Our newsroom all over it, and we'll certainly update you. We'll break in as soon as we know more. But we're on AM radio, working just fine. If you do have internet, we're streaming through your smart speaker. Just ask to play WCCO radio and our video stream. More than 1,000 folks hanging out, watching us on X, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And every Tuesday and Thursday at our 4:30 half hour, we do a segment called DeRusha Eats.
DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
Last night I went to a new restaurant that opens tomorrow in South Minneapolis. It's called Bill's Dive Bar. And it got me thinking about city restaurants that are trying to capture the magic of greater Minnesota and of western Wisconsin. For the last couple of years, we've had this sort of supper club thing going on, and Bill's Bait Shop sort of feels like a rural neighborhood restaurant. There's like a canoe hanging in this restaurant. There are PBR kind of stained glass chandelier-like light fixtures. The thing that triggered the memory for me outside on their patio is they had those lawn chairs that like my parents had at every soccer game and every small town parade. You know, with like the sort of fabric, kind of plasticky fabric background that was weaved in like the pattern of like a plaid or something. There is something about us like trying to recapture that, right? 651-461-9226. City dwellers yearn for what is commonplace in rural parts of our community. I think it's kind of interesting because right now we see when it comes to food and restaurants, I always think it can be a way that people come together. And Bill's Bait Shop, I do think, like, this is at Hiawatha, right by 55, and 42nd Avenue in South Minneapolis, not too far from the airport. Used to be Chicago Taste Authority, the hot dog, Italian beef, my favorite spot. But that place is no more, and now it's Bill's Bait Shop. But I do think there's something very interesting about reconnecting, right? You go to a dive bar that has paneling up, and you're like, this reminds me of a place near the Brainerd Lakes. Or you go to a restaurant that has Haggie's Pizza. Well, why do you think there's this yearning for nostalgia and this yearning for a connection to a part of our state where I think people feel like, man, if you're in the cities and you're in greater Minnesota, you couldn't be more different right now, right? People are very politically different. Your lifestyle is different. Perhaps there's a sense that your values are different. But when I see restaurants opening that are trying to recreate that vibe, it just makes me wonder. Now, do you see the opposite? No. And I don't know that that's that weird, right? Like, you're not going to see in greater Minnesota a restaurant that has like an industrial design or something hyper modern that makes you think of a city. You just don't see that often. You see family-owned restaurants, neighborhood vibe, people taking care of each other. And in the cities, you sort of want to recreate that. I just thought that was an interesting situation. The supper club phase has been a big deal in the Twin Cities over the last post-COVID years. Creekside Supper Club in Minneapolis, Mr. Paul's Supper Club at 50th and France. I just find it very interesting. There's been a resurgence of the supper club. So like your Jensen's, your Wiederholt's, some of the supper clubs in the immediate metro area that has suburbanites going out to go get that experience. For me, I think ultimately like what people care about when you're going out to eat is you care about the connection. You care about the connection with people. And for me, like, I love food. I love going out to eat. But I will take a fun group of people around a table 15 times out of 10 over the perfect meal, the perfect food. Something exciting, something different. Yeah, I like all that stuff. But give me the fun people 10 times out of 10. And there's something about a vibe where it's not pretentious. Like last night I had walleye fish and chips that were great. I had a thick burger. Dan, I did want to ask you about this because I know you enjoy a burger. And the trend in the Twin Cities has been, and the same all around the country, it's been
Smash burgers.
Smash burger.
Yeah.
Smash burger. And I don't know who started it. There was a restaurant called Smash Burger, but that wasn't who originated the band.
No, the idea had to come before that.
Now, smash burgers have been served at diners forever, but when chefs started doing it and became more popular, this place had a thick burger, like the kind of burger that you would make at home, right? If you ever hand patty your own burger, or even you go to Cub or go to Lunds and Byerly's, they'll sell like I don't know, sometimes they call it like a steak burger, but it's just thicker, right? Like it'll maybe be a third pound
or a quarter pound.
Or a quarter pound.
Yeah.
Whereas the smash burger is generally about a third pound, pretty thin, obviously smashed. It was kind of fun to get a burger that was pink on the inside and tasted like a burger instead of just bun and cheese, you know? I'm curious if do you prefer the smash or do you prefer like the 2 temperature thicker burger?
If you put a gun to my head, I guess I would say the smash, just because I think there's probably a better chance of an even cook than with the thicker burger.
It is the benefit. And the smash can still be juicy. I think the rip
that's
on
just
the
it.
smash is like,
if you do it right, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But again, I'll eat a thick burger, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of fun to have a thick burger. It just was different. It was,
and that's probably the deal, right? Is that you see the trend go one way, and eventually somebody's going to try to fill a gap in the market and say, "Oh, we'll do a thick burger instead." That's how we distinguish ourselves.
The other thing that I found interesting is that we've been in this phase where if you go get a burger at a restaurant, it's like $17, $18 and doesn't come with fries or anything. And they were doing a $16 double smash burger with fries and a lot of fries. And I thought I wonder if the economic reality, and today there were earnings reports that came out for Papa John's. Yesterday, the earnings report came out for McDonald's. And one of the things that's been happening in restaurants is that the middle class is not, they're not even responding to discounting. So you put stuff on sale and the middle class is still like, nope, can't afford it. It's interesting for individually owned restaurants. You're like, I wonder if we're going to see more experimentation with pricing. I hope so. Just this week on this show, we had the new owner of Bauhaus Brew Labs, ABV Technology, which is going to do some non-alcoholic versions of beer, some low-alcohol versions, and then the fully loaded. But they said they're going to sell beer for $5 a pint, which it feels like that was a million years ago. But I just think people are stretched, right? Don't you guys feel like, I maybe if I used to go out twice a week, now I'm going out once or twice a month? I think that's reality out there. I've been surprised that we haven't seen a ton of restaurants closing because I think people are cutting back. Let me know what you think. 651-461-9226. Lots of texts coming in about dive bars, about supper clubs, and burgers. Weigh in on all of that. Drive time back. Oh, and Matt from Little Falls correcting me because I screwed that up. The smash burger is usually a quarter pound. The third pound is bigger than a quarter. Matt, I'm not good at fractions.
Fractions are hard, and, so is math. So just, chill out.
Matt is correct. Thank you for the correction. Drive time back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Earlier in this show, we were talking about gluteus maximus. And I had a moment where I thought, I don't know if I need to keep talking about butts on the air. And a caller called up and said, Jason, you can talk about butts on the air. In fact, we would love for you to talk about butts on the air. And the caller wanted me to talk about the pork butt. It's Jason for the Minnesota Pork Board, where they would love, you can call it a pork shoulder. But you know what? If you call it a pork shoulder, I think you're a little bit of a loser. You're afraid to call it what it is. And that is the butt. My absolutely favorite meal that my mom used to make for me as a kid was the pork butt. Smoked butt, she called it. And the first time I went to the grocery store and said, I love that pork that my mom makes. At the grocery store, they were like, I'm sorry, you're looking for what? Pork butt? Yeah, pork butt. Pork butt is part of the shoulder. And any good butcher shop or grocery store will know what you're looking for. And there's nothing like smoking a pork butt on a smoker or put it in your big green egg or whatever you got. Smoke that bad boy at 250 and just let that pretty humble cut of meat become tender, flavorful, and delicious. Putting flavor on the table is what Minnesota pork is all about. 3,000 family farmers. You need a pork butt recipe? Get to tastewhatporkcando.com. Tastewhatporkcando.com. Get to that grocery store and butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No. My entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. And that's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
As you get ready to make that drive, just get ready for some construction. 694 westbound, that exit ramp to East River Road. Completely closed down till next week. Traffic can use exit 37 University Avenue and go north to Osborne Road and then back to East River Road. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw and Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Bradshaw and Bryant bringing us the weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 66. Tomorrow, isolated showers possible, high of 82. Saturday looks good, too, 85. A little more humid over the weekend. Just can feel like summer, if you ask me. Right now, it is 83 on WCCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
I think that's a recipe for chaos.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Let me give you a Continental Diamond time check. It is 4:55. My pre-owned luxury watch headquarters is the great local people at ContinentalDiamond.com, getting ready for wedding season, getting ready for gala season, or maybe a birthday or an anniversary. Get to ContinentalDiamond.com in St. Louis Park. Sue is in Uptown to weigh in on the burger debate. Sue, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. Where are you on smash versus thick burger?
Smash.
Smash burger. What do you have a favorite spot, or what's your smash
well,
burger?
I went to a new place. It's called Mari's Watch Bar in Uptown. On Thursday nights, it's $5 for a double smash burger.
Get out of here. $5? Wow.
It was delicious. I couldn't eat it all. It was huge.
I drove by that place. Everyone is opening a sports bar everywhere you look. I think it's because none of us know how to watch any games on what channel do we tune to, or what streamer do we need in our own home, you know? Yeah.
It's just nice to have a new place in Uptown that has such delicious.
I love it. Good tip. Very good tip. Thank you. Thanks, Sue. There's Sue in Uptown with a shout out for Mari's Watch Bar. Yeah, there's a new sports bar opening, I think, next week at 50th and France in the next couple weeks. General Sports Bar, that's called. Sports bars are the thing. We are in the non-fancy food era, I think. People want comfort, they want easy, and they want affordable, and they want TVs. Eloise in Wayzata, which is owned by the wife of Tom Pohlad, they are revamping their restaurant, and guess what they're putting behind the bar? Yes, TVs. Is it so you can watch the Twins game? I'm not saying, but I just say it. Texter says, Jason, the best part of the pork butt is the money muscle. Perfect ratio of fat and meat. Another texter talk about A&W's third-pound burger, which failed because most people thought it was smaller than the quarter pounder. See, I'm not the only one who's an idiot on fractions, that's for sure. We're going to get an update on the ground stop, which appears to be over, but the FAA website is down. What a day for technology here on CC.
Why sell your house the hard way when you can sell it the easy way? When you say yes to a guaranteed cash offer from Chris Lindahl Real Estate, you can skip the line, get in the fast lane, and get a fresh start in life. Go to chrislindahl.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
An air conditioner at Metro Heating and Cooling is, on average, only $5,400 installed. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phone, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. And tell them Jordana sent you.
David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners.
You know, people will spend a year planning their big vacation. Take the same care when it comes to your retirement plan.
Listen Saturday at 11 on WCCO.
What's news? What's noise? Discover the difference here. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. A federal judge dismissed the indictment of the former Olympian who was charged with vandalizing the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial. U.S. Attorney for Washington, Jeanine Pirro, requested the charges be dropped. That angered President Trump. Today in the Oval Office, the president was asked about another of his hand-picked legal choices. He wants Todd Blanche to be confirmed as Attorney General, but Blanche faces uncertain Senate support.
Let's see if we need anybody. I'll reach out to whoever I have to, but anybody voting against him would be doing a great disservice to the country.
The president also said the U.S. has more than enough missiles for its needs, refuting reports that stockpiles have dwindled amid the war in Iran. Retired Lieutenant General and ABC News contributor Dan Karbler says,
it's always been a challenge for us. The math never works out well on our side in terms of the number of interceptors we have versus, again, just the plethora of missiles that our adversaries, and in this case, Iran, can shoot at us.
Air traffic over a large swath of the Midwest was shut down. It's now reopened, but it was because of a problem at a major air traffic control center in the Midwest. ABC Transportation reporter Sam Sweeney explains.
Well, this was a radar and a frequency outage at one of the largest air traffic control centers. This is called Minneapolis Center, but it handles the air traffic over several nearby states. We're talking more than 330,000 square miles.
The cause is under investigation. The Justice Department says it received a referral from a House committee or Senate committee that voted to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt for his refusal to answer questions last week. Fauci's attorney called it a political stunt. Investigators in Washington state say the man accused of starting last week's devastating fires in Spokane admitted to starting at least 25 fires between July 4th and August 11th. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 82 degrees at 5:02. I'm Laura Oakes. Officials with Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport have lifted a ground stop that was put in place earlier this afternoon. WCCO Susie Jones joins us live in the studio with the latest. Suze.
Laura, we just got off the phone with Jeff Lee, a spokesperson for the airport. He says airlines are beginning to resume operations at Minneapolis-St. Paul after that FAA regional outage.
But we do expect some impacts to flights to continue through the rest of the evening as airlines recover. So we suggest that all travelers should maintain contact with their airlines for the latest flight status.
And again, he could not say how long this might take to get up and running, but there have been a number of delays, no cancellations that we know of yet. People, again, Laura, being asked to call ahead to make sure that their flight is on time and that of those who they might be there at the airport to pick up. Live in the newsroom, Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Businesses impacted by the BWCA wildfires are asking for financial help from the state, sending a letter to Governor Walz today. David Seaton owns Hungry Jack Outfitters in Grand Marais. He says it still remains to be seen how big of a hit things will be in the end.
It'll be hard to tell for sure because we still, quite honestly, have some people that are canceling. We're just having a hard time convincing people that we're not all burnt up and the air isn't all full of smoke, and neither of those things are true.
And Seaton says they are asking the public to come up and visit and see for themselves. Leaders with Minnesota-based lettuce company Revel Greens have informed the state the company will close if a new buyer isn't secured by early October. If that happens, they would lay off 89 employees. A Minnesota judge has found probable cause to believe that Republican gubernatorial candidate Mike Lindell violated campaign laws by throwing My Pillow pillows promoting his candidacy at a July 4th parade in Delano. The case will now go to a panel of 3 administrative judges, and an evidentiary hearing will be scheduled as well. The Minnesota Twins say pitcher Joe Ryan is headed to the injured list after an MRI showed he has a mild left glute strain. The Twins wrap up their series against the Royals in Kansas City tonight, the pregame at 6 o'clock, right here on WCCO. And the Uptown Art Fair is back this weekend with a new name and a new location.
Rebranded as the SoMe South Minneapolis Art Fair and located on Lindell Avenue the last couple years, the fair returns to its roots. Stephanie Panaz, executive director of the Uptown Association.
We're bringing it back to Uptown, and it's reimagined around the beautiful Lake of the Isles. But it's so important to have this iconic event back for the economic impact of it.
And the goal isn't only to get the locals to return, but also the visitors in town this weekend back as well.
We want them to leave as a visitor wanting to come back and planning their next trip. I think these folks will be back often.
Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 5:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Normal operations returning to MSP Airport, but you could still find some delays on in- and outbound flights. Again, things getting back to normal from an earlier stoppage. Now, we do have road work on the way. North 94 in both directions between 55 and Lowry Tunnel. Left lane closed all the way through November. 280 northbound, 94 to 36. You're closed through the 22nd. Now the detour there, 94 to either 35W or 35E to 36. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
For the best windows in the business that are made to order just for you, an array of styles, features that will fit your project and budget, only one way to go. My friends with Pella Windows and Doors, PellaNorthland.com. Tell me, heard this from Chad.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Pella Windows Northland. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It will be a little tougher to sleep with the windows open tonight. Only cooling back to 66. It's going to start to get a bit humid as well. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. There's a cold front passing that will trigger some showers anytime late morning into the early afternoon. The better chance of rain late in the afternoon east of the Twin Cities. It will be a bit muggy with a high of 82. Highs this weekend in the mid-80s.
Mostly sunny right now, 82 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minnesota's meeting spot to hear what's going on. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, weird day for sure. Computer outages that we still haven't quite gotten to the bottom of. The airport with a ground stop, no flights in and out for a couple of hours. Don't you want to just give up? Let's take tomorrow off. Just forget it. How do we get Summer Fridays on this show? I would be interested in that. Welcome to Drive Time. It's Jason. Dan is here. Laura is well. I do want to start with something that I heard in Laura's news. Does anyone really care if Mike Lindell threw pillows at a parade? Is this our politics and the funding and the money and the PACs and the ads? Our whole system of doing elections is so ridiculous. And what we're going to draw the line in is the pillow guy can't throw pillows at a parade. Are you kidding me? Is this twice in 1 week I'm defending Mike Lindell? Are people throwing so much crap at Lindell that I just, my normal contrarian self is now could we stop picking on Mike Lindell? It seems ridiculous, doesn't it? Also, is anyone out there so dumb that they were going to vote for Lisa Dameth, but Lindell threw me a pillow, so, I guess I'm going to vote for the pillow guy? What are we doing with our system of running elections? We're going to have hearings. We're going to haul Lindell in front of a 3-judge panel. I assume they're all wearing powdered wigs. And this is what we're mad about? Do you guys care if Mike Lindell throws pillows at people? 651-461-9226. I got some people I'd like to throw a pillow at, I'll tell you what. I like to have a pillow thrown at me. Why didn't I get a damn pillow out of the deal? It just seems so stupid, doesn't it? Jason, rules are rules. I don't know. You're going to let Lindell throw pillows, and you got to let Lisa Dameth buy everybody an ice cream. Now that I think about it, actually, I do think it's time that these politicians give something to us. Should we legalize bribery in some way? I feel like everybody else is getting rich off this, right? You got these campaigns, you got these high-paid consultants, you got these media goobers, you got the fundraising platforms, the credit card companies. Ad producers, scary voiceover guy. Michelle Tafoya is a California liberal. You guys been hearing that ad today on this station? Do you laugh out loud when you hear that? Michelle Tafoya has given up. What does that even mean? What is that ad? Michelle Tafoya is a California liberal. It's like the people who think I'm MAGA or DSA. Could you imagine if I ran for office, Cook? What the negative ads? What would the number one? Maybe people should text him with this. What would the number one negative ad? What would the rip be on me? 651-461-9226.
We know exactly what it would be because you talked about it yesterday. Hair plugs.
Jason DeRusha's been lying to you for decades about his hairline. How can we trust him on the issues that really matter for Minnesota? Say no to hair transplant DeRusha. Yeah, that's pretty good. It'd be a pretty good rip. Jacob says, my vote is worth a pillow. Has anyone ever said that? I don't know. I don't know. What would it take, Pete in Roseville, what would it take, Pete, to buy you off? Would a pillow do it?
No, sir. A pillow would not do it.
All right. What
And
about a pillow and a sham? We're throwing in the sham.
maybe a pillow and a mattress? How's that?
Well, a mattress
we
now. Now
we need a new mattress, so maybe that. But I'm kidding.
Of course, your vote
It's
is
like-
not for sale. Please.
It's like, stop wasting your time on this stuff. I mean, it's kind of with the whole thing with the Fauci thing. Get over it, move on. You know.
Yeah.
But
Right, I know. I was thinking about that today, too, right? Today, Tony Fauci is found in contempt of Congress, which I am also in contempt of these goofballs.
Yeah.
Like, let's maybe we need to be done with congressional hearings in general because it's just such a clown
that's a good
show,
point. That's a very good point. And as I recall, somebody else took the fifth a number of times too, and he wasn't called out on it so much. So.
It's very true. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for listening. 651-461-9226. Texter saying it takes more than a pillow. Yeah. We are getting lots of rips. The rips on me are coming in fast and furiously, which I think is
you asked.
outstanding. It's
Yeah, you
outstanding.
asked. Yeah.
Jason DeRusha, he doesn't even know how to do his own laundry. That's
fair. Fair.
Jason hates dogs. How do we trust him? Huh? We can't trust Jason because he's so self-centered. Now, I don't think that's not going to get it done. That's every politician, right? Like, if that's not going to sink my campaign. Can't vote for DeRusha. He's got too big of an ego. Like, come on, please. Texters. A lot of people pointing out my laundry challenge, my jeans, and I'm part of the liberal media establishment. That's true. That's a tough one to get over. Although the biggest thing that people do, like the biggest grift when you leave media is you become like a hardcore right-winger, right? Like we've seen a lot of, that's where the success is.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see some media people, like when they leave, like, was it Terry Moran left mainstream media? He was an ABC News correspondent, and now he's got a Substack. And who is the CBS News White House guy? There's some CBS guy who left. Everybody's leaving to launch a Substack. Mine is free. I don't know. That's what I'm not leaving this for my Substack so I can make $7 a month from 20 subscribers. No thanks.
Jason DeRusha doesn't even know what streaming services he's paying for. He's out of touch with Minnesota.
Jonathan says, we can't trust Jason. He only flew first class once. Yeah. I mean, do you really want a governor?
Jason DeRusha, carpetbagger from Chicago.
The ad would consist of, is Jason a liberal? Shows Jason defending the left. Is Jason a conservative? Shows clips defending the right. Jason DeRusha is too indecisive for the role of senator. It's very good.
That's fantastic.
Jason, the ad would be simple. It would go something like this. Jason DeRusha for public office? What are you people, on drugs? Yeah, it's probably true. Jason owns homes all over the Twin Cities. He's too rich for us. Yeah, it's true. Somebody commented on a post I put on Facebook the other day where they're like, could you explain, like, what your housing situation
Where in the world do you live?
Oh, Jim Acosta. That was another media member who
Sure.
left to go start the Substack. My living situation is confusing.
The-
I
the
understand
word-
why people are confused.
The word left in that sentence is doing a lot of work because most of these people that leave, as I do scare quotes, are getting before they get got.
Texter says, talking about the Mike Lindell and the pillow. I don't care that Lindell threw out pillows. I really don't. I find like most of the, and I guess So I think about it this way. If I were running for office and my opponent did something that technically violated campaign finance laws, you sort of have to file the complaint against him, right? Even though you look like a whiny, crying schoolyard narc. You look a little like the one who told the teacher that somebody else was cheating. And I guess you sort of have to. Because otherwise, then why would anybody ever follow any of the rules, right? But still, like, it's Mike freaking My Pillow Lindell. You can tell me Lindell can't be in a parade and throw out some dang pillows? Like, who cares? I don't know.
I mean, you got to have a line someplace, right? Or why have any lines at all? Just spend whatever you want, do whatever you want with, whoever's money.
Which maybe...
I mean, we're kind of headed there, in terms of campaign finance in general.
And I'm sort of talking myself into this idea that if you are using money and giving gifts to voters, is that really more damaging to democracy than spending money on consultants, spending money on... I mean, the idea that the regular Joe is gonna change their vote because someone gave you a pillow? Thomas from Delano says, I was at the parade. The rest of them were handing out pamphlets and candy and stuff. It's like that's below a certain value, so that's allowed, I guess, right?
Jason DeRusha, fraction challenged.
Yeah, I mean, I was going on and on about how that third-pound burger is smaller than the quarter-pound burger.
Explosive D owns 2 homes and pays 0 taxes.
Oh, God. Drive time back in just a minute on CC.
Drive time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
We thought we knew Jason DeRusha. He was a food lover. It's a little more of him to love. In fact, a City Pages journalist once described him as bulbous. But then Jason DeRusha found Livia, and it all changed. Can we really trust Jason? Well, maybe not, but you can trust me about Livia because it worked. And it's been working for me for 4 years. How about that? It's Jason from my friends at Livia. They changed my life. They really did. 45 pounds gone. We video streamed the show, so I'm not one of those radio hosts who claim they lost 45 pounds, and who knows what the truth is. Livia helped me change the way I eat. They keep me on track today. I still go in once a month to check in because the accountability, the one-on-one counseling, that's part of it. Livia has evolved, though. It's not just about weight loss. It's about healthy living. It's about healthy aging. It's about achieving the best version of yourself that you've always dreamed of. And I want you to go to Livia.com, explore some of the services. They've got GLP-1 support. They've got medical weight loss advice. They've got hormone replacement therapy, all sorts of different options. Just the whole goal is to make you feel like yourself again. They did it for me. They can do it for you, too. Get to Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. The time to be outdoors is now. The weather is just lovely. It's Vanita here. Make your backyard a place you'll love spending time in with By the Yard's beautiful maintenance-free outdoor furniture, built to withstand the elements and designed for comfortable outdoor living. It is so fantastic to sit and relax in By the Yard furniture. Visit a showroom today and experience it for yourself. By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Full tank of premium, high octane, if it had wings, it'd be a plane. We're gonna take her out and fly tonight.
The texter is definitely coming through with their idea for negative ads. I feel like we need to save some of these, Dan, and actually produce some negative ads for the show. You guys are welcome to as well. If you want to, you can always send us a message, Jason at Odyssey, AUDACY.com, or you can send a voice message if you want to do your own scary political voice guy on the Odyssey app, right where you listen live to WCCO. You can send us a message, and it comes right to the studio, and we can play it on the air. I apparently am now advocating for vote buying. I sort of am. Because sometimes I think with the political funding and the political finance regulations, it's designed to protect from the wrong thing. So being worried about Mike Lindell throwing out pillows at a parade, a texter says, well, if you're throwing pillows at a parade, what are they worth? $50? Which, first of all, let me just tell you, what a My Pillow is worth. The first pillow is worth $30, but if you call right now
with the special promo code,
the second pillow. But yeah, let's say it's $50. It's not, but whatever. It's probably $25 or $30 or who knows. Would it be the same if they handed out a $25 or a $50 bill? And I would say that if a politician wanted to hand out $50 bills at a parade in Delano, I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I don't know that's...
Why is it better for them to hand out the money to consultants and to TV stations for these annoying political ads all the time? Why are we acting like if they gave me directly the money, first of all, I would never vote for someone that's stupid, right? That would almost be disqualifying for me. Somebody gives me, now if they give me $100, now we're talking. You think you could buy me for $50? I'm an expensive date, Dan Cook.
Well, and again, to your point earlier, in all seriousness, I don't know that kind of money is enough to get anybody to say, well, I was going to vote for Lisa Damoth, but Mike Lindell handed me a $50 bill.
I'd take
or a $50
money.
pillow. Well, I'm sure most people would.
But yeah,
but I don't know that that's going to change anybody's mind outside of, does it make him appear more folksy and more, affable and more relatable if he's tossing pillows off the back of the truck necessarily than handing out $50 bills.
For sure.
And if he can afford to do that and candidate B can't afford to do that, are we then operating in a system that's unfair to all the candidates?
And I do think, like, also being serious, like, you do have to account for that as like a campaign expenditure, right? So who donated those pillows? This is just a very specific sort of weird scenario, right? Because it's Lindell.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know that there's, I mean, maybe if the Heggie's Pizza guy runs for office and he's handed out like
I'm voting for Heggie's Pizza.
the six-pack, which pizza is it for you?
Oh, it's pepperoni.
You just like it's very strange.
Yes.
You like
That's another liner right there. But
just the straight pepperoni.
Yeah. You don't need any more than that.
I would go, like, if I'm going to go one ingredient on a pizza,
Mountain goat tears.
sausage. It would be sausage for me. I love pepperoni. Like, ideal pizza for me is probably pep and sausage.
Yeah, that's fine.
But if you just go straight pepperoni, you do have a good chance you're getting
happy
like,
for the rest of my days.
But you're getting like a grease fest.
Okay.
I'm just a sausage guy. Do with that what you will. Texters on the negative ads for DeRusha, which that clip would fit very nicely.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would definitely get replayed.
Taken out of context. This is our, here it is. This is your state, with like a happy picture of Minnesota. This is your state on elected Jason DeRusha.
Like
that.
Boundary waters, like completely on fire.
You guys are very clever, like very good ad writers here. Another texter saying Lindell's been throwing out pillows at the Carver Parade for many years. I don't think this is necessarily a political move.
Well, 1,000% it's a political move. I mean, come on. He's running for governor. The float says Mike Lindell for governor.
Right.
Good. He's been throwing out pillows at other places. That's fine, but that doesn't make this
because
not
it was
politically
Mike
related.
Lindell, CEO of My
Right.
Pillow.
Which you're allowed to do, right? If he wants to give away his product, he can give away his product. But when you're running for a political office and you're standing on a float that says Mike Lindell for governor, that's a different
And
deal.
the packaging of the pillows said Lindell for governor.
Sure,
the pillows are valued at $34.95, according to the complaint. But Lindell said that the pillows were purchased wholesale for $4.90 each. And he said with the promo code, you can buy them for $9.99. I just don't care. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm supposed to be outraged. I'm more outraged that Dan didn't select the six-pack or the Supreme Pizza. Or the breakfast. Is there a Supreme Heggie's? I don't think so. Ugh. You don't like Supreme Pizza?
Too much stuff. You don't need that much stuff on a pizza.
Heggie's
and breakfast pizza is not actual pizza.
Heggie's has sausage and Inferno's a good pizza. The Inferno, there's a Supreme Deluxe. I like the breakfast pizza. You don't like breakfast pizza?
I didn't say I don't like breakfast pizza. It's just not pizza.
What are you talking about?
It's not pizza. It's a breakfast item. If you want pizza for breakfast, you have cold pizza for breakfast. You don't have pizza made out of breakfast stuff.
If you're going to allow cold pizza as an option for breakfast, then breakfast pizza is a legitimate option as well.
It's a legitimate option. It just isn't pizza. It's a different category.
It has crust. It has toppings.
Breakfast food, not pizza
It's
food.
pizza.
No, it's not pizza.
You're
You're completely wrong.
Honestly, I don't give anybody a microphone at this station, and I do not know who decided to turn yours on.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
Apple is adding an AI agent to its Apple Store app in a move that the company says will help users purchase devices based on details like account information, device identities, and carrier information. Apple says where the Apple Store app virtual
Hi, Dean. You hearing us okay?
I can hear you.
Good.
Can you
We
hear
hear
me?
you loud and clear. Yep, absolutely.
Excellent.
We're enabled. Look,
So just give us 3-4 minutes here in this break, and then we'll have you on with
Of course.
Jason Brooks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
All right, Jason here with a message for guys and for the women who care about guys in their life. Hair loss. It's something that I think I'm glad that more people are talking about it. I've been talking about hair loss for years because it's something I've struggled with. Years as a TV news anchor, people used to email me, "Oh, Jason, your hairline's really thinning." Which I appreciated the feedback because I never saw what I looked like on television for multiple hours every day. So thank you for that. But the good news is that there are things you can do about hair loss. You don't just have to accept it. If you choose to age and have your hair thin, no problem, right? Do you? But if you do want to keep the hair you have, Tureen Dermatology has options for you. This is Hair Loss Awareness Month. And I think often people don't think about talking to their dermatologist about hair loss, but I've had incredible success with Dr. Mohiba Tureen and the team at Tureen Dermatology. Now, they have 12 locations all over the Twin Cities. And one of the biggest trends in social media right now is actually young men taking action to keep the hair they have. What I would recommend before you just follow some nonsense on social media is talking to a medical expert. When you go to Tureen Dermatology, your hair restoration journey starts with an evaluation. They're going to have a board-certified dermatology provider guide you through your options and make sure you're taking, if it's medication, if it's lasers, if it's platelets, whatever, all these different options are available. But making sure that it's designed for your life, your medical history, your background, your family situation. Tureen Dermatology will take care of you. I brought my 18-year-old, my 21-year-old, because they look at Dad and they also are like, well, I'd like to keep my hair a little longer than Dad did. Reach out. Online, you can request an appointment at Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
Lisa Damuth, a Republican who delivers results.
And I led the charge in rooting out billions in fraud and waste.
To stop the fraud, you need a governor who won't back down. Lisa Damuth gets the job done. Lisa Damuth understands. To make Minnesota affordable again, we must fight fraud. Lisa Damuth knows. To create good-paying jobs for Americans, we must stop payments to illegal aliens.
I led the way to end taxpayer funding of health care for illegal immigrants.
In the legislature, Republican Lisa Damuth fought the fraudsters. Now, Lisa Damuth's running for governor.
Let's start our Minnesota comeback right here and right now.
America's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by America's PAC and not authorized by any other candidate or committee. AmericasPAC527.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
This traffic report brought to you by Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates, American Family Insurance. MSP Airport getting back to normal operations. An earlier FAA problem causing a lot of delay on the computer. That could cause a delay inbound, outbound flights. Check before you go. Protect what matters most with Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates to the American Family Insurance, from your home to your car to your dreams. Amber Scholl and her team are here to help you in every step of the way. Call Amber Scholl today at 651-738-4811 to learn more. Visit amfam.com. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Oh no, the lights are flickering, the drain is backing up, the water heater just went cold. When home problems interrupt your day, call Randy's Electric and Plumbing. Same-day repairs, licensed pros, and clear pricing before work begins. For those oh no moments, call Randy's Electric and Plumbing.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Randy's Electric and Plumbing at callrandys.com, bringing us the weather forecast from Chris Schaefer.
Partly cloudy tonight, only falling back to 66, so it is going to be warmer. It is going to get more humid. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. A cold front is going to trigger some scattered showers. Most will stay dry, but we could catch some sprinkles late morning into the early afternoon. 82 the afternoon high. It stays mild this weekend. Saturday and Sunday highs in the mid-80s both days. Partly cloudy, best chance of rain Sunday night into Monday.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, the sun is peeking through our windows in downtown. It's 84 degrees on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
Just because he thinks he has a louder voice does not always make him right.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
You guys know I love marketing, I love advertising, and I love the fact that the Twin Cities is such a leader in this world, still is, but so much has changed, right? I think Dan found this out, actually. Dan started a YouTube channel where he's doing some preaching and ministry work, and on his channel, he has a graphic, like a logo, and a buddy was showing it to some like Gen Zers who immediately were like, that's AI. I don't care for that. I've been hearing this more and more from young people that have sort of a visceral reaction to AI. Well, there's a Twin Cities ad agency, Broadhead, that was just named the Silver Award winner for Small Agency of the Year from Ad Age. And the CEO and founder, Dean Broadhead, is with us via video link up right now in our live stream on YouTube and on X and on Facebook. Dean, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk first about this award, because being named Small Agency of the Year by a national outfit like Ad Age is a pretty big deal. What do you think was the difference maker for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge deal. Ad Age is really the publication of our industry, really the standard. I think the biggest difference for us is just being on top of where this business is going in terms of how are we evolving. You know, you're talking about AI. AI is a huge part of where those changes are happening. How are we basically working with that, leveraging that, making it a strength of what we're doing. It's obviously changing roles in the agency business, but it's also an exciting time of what's now possible of what we can do.
I mean, you founded this agency in 2001.
Long time ago, yes. Yes.
2001 doesn't feel like it was that long ago,
right.
but certainly when you consider like the changes in marketing, the changes in the digital landscape, what for you has been the biggest thing that's changed over these last 25 years?
Well, I mean, I think you think back to 2001. I mean, the changes that you're going through with AI, while they seem seismic, I mean, we should also think back what was actually going on in 2001. I mean, in essence, the internet was not really a vehicle of any note. You know, I mean, we had it, but it was more like you've got mail. And you know, it wasn't really a true marketing vehicle. The ad business looked more like Mad Men than it looks like today. So I think it was still far more traditional back then. There really wasn't digital. Obviously, there wasn't social. And you think about all of that and how basically social is the front door of what we do in marketing anymore. Just in terms of the jobs have changed, the roles have changed. How we meet, how we connect and influence customers have changed. The role of brands have changed, you know. So it's a considerably different business, but at the same time, and so their roles, you know, the business is always evolving. Jobs change. You know, AI is not wiping out jobs; it's just changing jobs. So.
Dean Broadhead is with us. Broadhead is the agency, Small Agency of the Year from Ad Age, but based right in the downtown North Loop. You're a Minnesota guy. You've been working at Minnesota agencies since you got out of, graduated from University of St. Thomas back in the day, right?
Back in the day, yes.
When you think about advice for consumers, because I feel like our listeners are so savvy about this stuff, and also a little overwhelmed at all the messages that are coming in. It's coming from influencers, it's coming from brands, it's coming from traditional radio and TV advertising. What with this AI world, what advice do you give for people who are consuming all this information?
Well, I think people have never had more control of their information either. I mean, I think the role of brands have almost been replaced in some respect. That's you might say not replaced, but people put their trust in strangers sometimes more than brands, and that's obviously something that we have to manage through.
It's wild, isn't it?
It's
Like
wild.
people trust whatever random like TikTok thing showed up in their feed.
Exactly. So I think people kind of find their cadence, they find their place, they find their channels. But just even the world that you live in social is always changing. The algorithms are always changing, and if you look at social today, it's far less about even your followers matter less than actually what you're interested in. So if you ever see in your feeds today, maybe you don't even see your friends showing up in your Instagram feeds or your Facebook feeds if you have those. And that's not by accident. The algorithms are changing it up and wanting to push you more to what they think you might be interested in. So, I think that's also an advantage of where the world is today. It is curating, so it can be overwhelming, but yet the algorithms are curating what they think you want to see. So
one of the things I liked in the Ad Age profile that they did on you guys is the fact that even though your agency is using AI tools to sort of automate part of the job, the sort of the guts, the non-sexy part of the job, creativity still wins the day when it comes to marketing, right? And they held out some of the work that you guys have done for Sunkist as an example. Talk a little about that.
I think the role of creative is never been more important than it is right now. Specifically for all the noise that you speak of, that we see in our channels every day, in our feeds every day. And AI is only going to accelerate that slop even more. I think the role of creativity is being elevated more than it's ever been. But at the same time, I think there is a role for AI in creativity as well, though. As we look at how we leverage it in creativity, it's almost like a democratization of what's possible as well. You think about, budgets were a big driver of whether you could do big and interesting things. That's not necessarily the case anymore. So to your earlier comment on people can figure out whether it's AI or not. Part of the job is like, how good are you at leveraging AI and making it not clear that it's AI. And I think that, and because all of a sudden, can you replace $100,000 production with something that you're able to do and really bring your vision to life? Just leveraging tools that you have. It really still comes down to, do you have a great craftsman with a great toolbox? And so I think that's still the same as it's always been.
Yeah.
The tools are just changing.
One of the things that I think is interesting, Dean, is hearing you, and I've heard you talk before about AI, and there are a lot of us who are in this sort of, maybe optimistically, we're saying midpoint of our careers, but we know like we're maybe closer to the end than the beginning. But there's hesitancy, right? You've embraced it. Like, was that hard for you to get on board, or is that just something that's in your nature where you were like, yep, I think this is going to be fine? A lot of people our age are afraid of this.
It's really fun. So we launched our first platform almost 3 years ago now. We could very much see on the horizon it was going to be a huge part of what our business is going to be. It was going to be a huge part of where this business was going to be going. The role of what clients need from us, we need things faster, we need things better, we need things. AI can be a huge vehicle in allowing us to make those things happen. And how do you do that? How do you build amazing things and also work in the environment of the dollars that you have at your disposal? So we could see that the role of AI was going to be hugely beneficial in that. What's kind of funny though is you look back at what we were doing in AI in 2020, early 2024 versus now. I mean, you're almost embarrassed to say it was like doing comic books versus what you can do today. It's just not even a comparison, right? Ironically, though, I mean, in the earliest days of AI, it was really our more senior people that were really embracing it. And I
were the young people worried it was going to cost their job? Was that why there was more fear from that group?
It wasn't so much that part. I mean, I think I used the analogy of the calculator. Once you know how to do math, we'd let you use the calculator. If you don't know how to do math, we'd rather you not use the calculator. And so I think where it was embraced so much by our senior people early on is like they had done the same things a million times before. So they knew what they were asking for and they knew what they were getting out and whether it was good, right? So I mean, I think just that level of experience and knowledge of being a creator in this business for so long, you have that ability to be a better consumer of what you're getting out of AI, and is it ultimately something that's beneficial?
Dean Broadhead from Broadhead, really appreciate you spending some time with us. Congratulations on being named Small Agency of the Year by Ad Age. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks,
Pretty
Dean.
cool. Thank you very much.
Pretty cool. Indeed. Drive Time back in just a minute here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha, tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
All right, let's talk about selling your house because I don't know, just the idea of it gives me sort of the creeps, right? I start shaking. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to put my house on the MLS. I don't want to have randos walking through. I don't want to have open houses. I don't want the phone to ring and all of a sudden I got to clear out immediately because somebody wants to take a look. Put on top of that the stress of the economic environment right now, the uncertainty around mortgage rates, which have been creeping up again this week. Chris Lindahl is finding more and more people are saying, you know what, let me take a look at that guaranteed cash offer. Perhaps you've seen Chris around town bringing out big red checks to people who said yes to the guaranteed cash offer. The main group, they're still saying yes, right? You need money fast. You need closing quickly. You've got to move. You had a death in the family. You had whatever. You want speed, guaranteed cash offers there for you. But what's changed is now more people who ordinarily would go on the open market are like seeing their neighbor's house, sit on the market for 2, 3, 4 months, taking 4, 5, 6 price reductions. They're saying, you know what? Let's take the stress-free way. So see if it makes sense for you. The website is chrislindahl.com. Get a free Smart Seller Guide today. And if you say yes, you're getting a big red check.
Smart Talk.
I think the U.S. government should ban social media for kids under 16.
Sharp opinions.
What the heck is going on in St. Paul? This whole deal with Mayor Herr just gets weirder by the minute.
Sharp hosts.
Donate the Dodgers. Change the damn system.
Solid Minnesota.
And it's our water supplies that are under attack. It's the people. And this freaking president of the United States is using this as a way to dunk on a politician that he doesn't like.
Yeah, some may post great quotes. Here, we drop them live. Minnesota's radio station. News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know when your air conditioner chooses the hottest day of the year to quit? Yeah, that's exactly what a proper tune-up helps prevent. At Metro Heating and Cooling, our complete professional AC tune-up is just $109 because we do more than the bargain guys. We inspect the system, test performance, clean critical components, and catch small problems before they turn into expensive breakdowns. So before the heat really hits, protect your comfort, your wallet, and your family. Call 214-304-7658 now and schedule your 109 AC tune-up with Metro Heating and Cooling. Done right the first time, so you stay cool all summer long.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It is not hard to destroy a college. Last season, the podcast Campus Files brought you stories of fraternity drug rings, stolen body parts, campus cults, and more.
And now, Campus Files is back for another season.
There's a guy screaming into his phone. He's like, I just saw Charlie Kirk get assassinated right in front of me.
Every week is a new episode and a new story.
It was so chaotic.
It's almost like a university on a siege.
Listen to and follow Campus Files. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington. And Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility. Now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Operations resuming back at MSP Airport after an earlier FAA problem. You could still face some delays on in- and outbound flights. Check with your airline before you come to the airport. Traffic lanes have been switched from 394 between 100 and 94. Eastbound now using the Easy Pass lanes. Westbound back to the westbound lanes. Also 394 eastbound, the ramp to 94. Closed. This work runs all the way through November. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Staples. Tonight, the low is 66. Pretty dang nice, don't you think? This is a great summer night. Enjoy it. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Isolated showers possible tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. We'll keep you updated. Tomorrow, high of 82. Weekend looks great. Saturday, 85. Sunday, 86. Not bad. 83 on CCO.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now I've been washed by the water of the kingdom, washed by the water, my friend.
The big Twins news today is Joe Ryan related. And so Joe Ryan flew home from Kansas City, and he was here for, an exam to see, does he have an injury, what's going on. And our friend Dan Hayes reported that he is likely going on the injured list. MRI showed that Joe Ryan had a mild left glute strain. So it's not official yet. But is this good news? In a way, I feel like it is, because if indeed there really is a physical problem with Joe Ryan, that makes you feel better that there's just a mental issue there. So hopefully, a couple weeks of rehab and he'll be back and ready to help guide us for a playoff push. So that's the latest on that. The Twins are in Kansas City tonight. Bailey Ober on the mound. Last night, Target Field was bumping with Noah Khan, sold-out concert. And then Is Savannah Bananas tonight or is it tomorrow?
I think tomorrow. It's this weekend.
So I saw they were setting up tents and everything for the Savannah Bananas, and those are all sold out too, aren't they? The Twins are making more money with the team out of town this week than they are when they're in town. Sold out. Savannah Bananas, I don't know, man. What a phenomenon. You got to give those guys credit.
It's remarkable.
Like,
yeah,
it's
I mean, they're
brilliant.
making a bunch of money and doing their thing. I don't get it. I mean, just as a general baseball fan, it doesn't appeal to me. I don't understand.
Because it's not for baseball fans.
I
right?
guess that's the thing, right? So but God bless them. Make their money, do their thing. People are obviously love it. So
check out the podcast. Today's show was truly goofy. So I recommend listening to the whole show via podcast if you missed any bit of it. Just search Drive Time with DeRusha or search DeRusha. You'll find it. Continental Diamond time check. It's 5:57. Time to get to ContinentalDiamond.com.
Your mortgage is probably your biggest bill each month. Imagine having to pay it twice. It can happen if you buy a new home before you sell your current one. You need a real estate